What's up, guys? We are here today in Manchester, New Hampshire, of all places. Just here for a little writing retreat, a little visiting friends retreat, just a little summer vacay. And I have to film some content. I've got to get my podcast out for tomorrow, actually. I rented the studio here so I can shoot the podcast. And I thought it would be fun to show you just how easy it is to create a nice podcast set using just a laptop and a microphone. But this is a really beautiful space. Shout out to them. It's called Lilac and Birch Studio. It's huge. I was not expecting it to be this big. Let's get to it. I've got many different potential, settings. Also, huge thanks to Riverside for sponsoring today's video. You can use my code Latasha James, that's Latasha James, at the link down in the description box to get 15% off any of their paid plans. Let's hop in. So first step was grabbing some coffee, but now I'm looking for a place to film. I shot a quick little video here at this setup. We've got a desk, a nice window, as you can see, which is nice, but I want to do a little bit of a different setup for the second video, just so it doesn't look so stale and look like I just sat here and batch recorded. So I think I'm actually going to record in this little dressing room, which is just a little unexpected, I guess you could say, but I think it'll be a little cute, like shop talk, like, hey, I'm here in a photography studio recording. I'm a creative professional. Is this going to work? There we go. Get our light right. Podcasting, I think, is so important. It's such a great way to build authority and to really establish yourself as a leader in a space, because you're putting out content consistently, typically weekly. And, there's just something about people being able to listen in their ears and watch on video that makes it really accessible and really authoritative. Makes it seem like you know what you're talking about. And yeah, I think video is something that a lot of podcasters really fought for a while, but I think nowadays people realize just how big of a bonus it is to have video alongside your audio show. You can post it on YouTube at the very minimum, so you're getting that SEO from YouTube, from Google as well, but it also just lends itself to so many possibilities for social media promotion. You can cut it up into TikToks and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts and LinkedIn posts and Facebook posts and all the things, and really get the maximum bang for your buck. Now, I think people really overthink starting a podcast. Like I said, I'm doing a podcast today here. You could easily be recreating this in your own dressing room, your own living room, kitchen, office, whatever. All that you need is, number one, some software to record into. We're going to talk about what I choose to use in a second, but a microphone. On the road, am using this Shure MV88 Plus. It's a little mini guy. It's great for travel. My at-home setup, I use a similar microphone, same company, but just bigger. It's called the Shure MV7. And then a camera. For this setup, I'm using my Nikon Z30. At home, I usually use a Canon R10 for a little bit more of a cinematic look. But honestly, that's it as far as hardware. Then you just need to find something to record into. And today I want to show you one of my favorite tools. It's called Riverside. You may have heard of it before because a lot of really amazing content creators use it, like Ali Abdaal. It's pretty much an all-in-one recording studio for your YouTube videos, for your podcasts. It's an editor. It's so cool. So let me show you a little tour of how you can get started and all the potential with this tool. So I've got my little mic, I've got my webcam set up here, and we're gonna head into Riverside and see what this is all about. So when you first log in, you'll see your studio. And there are a few different things you can do. First off, we can just go to the studio. I'll show you that if I'm recording a solo podcast or kind of an impromptu guest podcast, what that'll look like. But you can also plan a recording in advance, which I love. You can just invite somebody to record and get your link. It's very similar to a Zoom link or a Google Meet, where you'll just go ahead and send that over to them and they can join. You can also send them an invite via email. My favorite thing though is that you can schedule in Google Calendar. So by clicking this, I just simply choose the date, the time, and it's all set up in Google Calendar. I can just add the guests like I would for a normal meeting, and they get sent the Google Calendar invite. It's magical because for me, I personally live in my Google Calendar. I don't know about you. You can also upload a video, and there's also an AI voice feature, which is really cool if you want to record like an intro for an ad read or something like that that you forgot to do when you were initially recording. It's magic. Okay, let's go to the studio. This is what you're going to be using more times than not in Riverside. As we can see, we're seeing my camera set up here. It's a little, I might move to a different location, but we're just going to roll with it for here. We see some bins in the background, but let's just go with it. So first, you're going to choose whether you're using headphones or not. This is going to help with the echo and making sure that you can hear everything really clearly. You can hear your guests clearly. You can also join as a producer, which I love. So if you work with anybody on your team, you can have them join in the background. They won't be on camera, but they can manage a lot of the controls, help, navigate and wrangle guests for you and, adjust some of the settings for you so that you can really focus on just being the best host that you can be. But I'm joining just as me, solo Latasha today. You'll see the link right here. When you first get in, you can have people join as a guest, as a producer, or as an audience member. So not only is Riverside awesome for podcasts, podcast interviews, solo podcasts, but you can also host meetings. Like, I teach a course called the Social Media Management Accelerator. We do a pitch contest every once in a while where some of my students get on stage, share their presentation decks, and we have a live audience. Well, next time I do this, instead of doing it on Zoom, I'm going to be doing it on Riverside, and I can just send audience members audience links so they can watch and participate in the chat, which is amazing. So this really is so much more than just a podcast interview tool. It really is a whole meeting platform. You can host webinars and things like that. But anyway, like I said, I'm doing a solo cast today, so we're just going to close out of the link actually, and we've got our video. Now, you'll see a few different quick settings on the right-hand side of your screen. You've got your noise reduction if you want to turn that on. I don't know if you just heard that motorcycle that went by, but I'm going to turn this on for sure because I'm in kind of a busy area and I'm also in an unfamiliar environment. I'm using this small mic. If I was using my full-on podcast setup, I might be okay without using this, but we're going to do it for now. Now, we can also go up into our more robust settings here, and this is where we can change our camera. For my webcam, when I'm at home, I use a webcam called the Logitech Brio. It's really, really good, crisp, way better than this MacBook camera, but honestly, as you can see, the MacBook camera isn't even that bad. And then you can also adjust your microphone here. So I'm going to want to use my MV88 Plus. You can choose to mirror or not mirror your video. Ooh, always throws me off. And then we've also got just some general settings in here. You can have a lobby waiting room. So if you do have audience members, this is nice. Or even if you have a podcast guest coming on and you don't want them to just go right into the room, you want to really greet them, you can turn that on. You can change your name. You can change the design of the room if you want to add a logo or a custom, background colors, things like that. And then for your actual recording, you can choose if you're going to do video and audio or just audio. I say always record video, even if you just are using your webcam and you got your hair in a ponytail. I say it's just so much better to just have it. I'd rather you have it than not have it, but there are definitely times you might want to do audio only. And then you've got all of your audio settings here, and you can also choose to record in HD if you'd like, 1080 HD. Definitely when I'm using the Logitech Brio, I do turn that on because it does record in HD. If you were to connect a camera like this one, you'll want to definitely turn that on to get the best possible quality. Also forgot to mention that you can record up to 4K as well, which again, when I use my Logitech Brio, that does support 4K. My Nikon Z30 supports 4K. So make sure that if you're using a camera that shoots in 4K and you want the best quality, to toggle this option on. I really love recording in 4K, particularly if I'm going to be repurposing the video onto social media because, it might stretch your video a little bit or, manipulate the footage a bit, which can sometimes, if you're recording in lower resolution, will make it look a little bit fuzzy. So it's great that Riverside allows this super HD recording and keeps everything looking great. And then you also have your transcription language. So one of the things I love about this tool is that it gives you a transcript at the end. So this is amazing for if you're going to repurpose into a blog post or a newsletter, or if you want to get subtitles to upload with your YouTube video. So you'll definitely want to choose your language. And we've got countdown timer, automatically start recording. The auto record button can be great if you often forget to click record. That has definitely happened to me before, not on Riverside, but on other platforms. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. I have to ask them to re-record. Live streaming settings are in here, and then there are some additional advanced settings. We won't go through every single one of these, but you really can customize this whole experience for your guest and for you. Another one of my favorite features in here is the script feature. You can jot down a script that you can use during your recording right here, so that, I just use notes for most of my episodes, for example. So I would just write point 1, and that way I can just quickly refer to my notes as I'm recording and not have to be, switching tabs and things like that. You can also turn it into a teleprompter. So you can see what that looks like here, which is amazing. It just goes right over my face. And so I'm just looking really naturally. You can share your screen if you would like to. You can also upload a presentation deck. And the great thing about this is that Riverside records locally for each party. So your guest will have a local recording. Sometimes when you're recording, it'll look a little fuzzy, just depending on the Wi-Fi connection or whatever. But rest assured that you're going to get crisp, high quality video at the end once you are done recording. So we're going to just record here really quickly. Test, 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 test. Okay, we're gonna test to just do a little test recording here, see what this is gonna look like. Okay, we'll stop. Obviously, if you're doing like a 1-hour podcast interview, it may take a little bit longer, but for that, uploading real quick, we can go to view our recordings now, and it's gonna process for a couple of minutes. We'll take a look at that in just a second. All right, nice and easy, there we go. And now we are seeing our editor. So we can click on edit and we can start editing this. Now, obviously this is like one line that I said, but we could just simply highlight and say, okay, we want this to be a clip. So we're gonna click on these dots and create new edit, and that will bring us a new clip. We can also add captions right in the Riverside online editor, which is amazing. They've got tons of different styles and you can even customize them further. We're gonna test to just do a little test recording here. And this is a low res preview. As you can see, it says exported audio and video will be higher quality. So I will export this and show you what it actually looks like, but it is gonna look crispy, or as crispy as my MacBook camera can look at least. But yeah, there are a ton of other things you can do over here in the editor. You can add music, you can upload additional, if you want to add B-roll or anything like that. You can do images, you can add text, like you really can do pretty much your full edit in Riverside, which is amazing for those of you who are not native editors. This is brand new to a lot of people and video can be super overwhelming. Now that my video is ready to go, I want to show you some of the additional editing features within Riverside. Most importantly, or the one that I'm the most excited about, is magic clips. If you click into your video, you'll see this option here, and you can start generating your clips. Basically, this is an AI-powered feature by Riverside, and they go through and find the best moments in your videos and trim them into bite-sized clips and get them all polished and ready for sharing on social. So as you can see, it's got like a pretty quick turnaround, and now we've got some clips ready to go. So let's just click into some of these. We can click on edit and see what they've chosen for us. Again, content creation, yes, it's very about you. And we can edit pretty much all of this stuff. So our captions, if we don't like this color or this format, we can change that. We can also change the layout of the video. So we can choose to fill if we wanted to post this on TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, or we can just have it be the clip like it showed. We can add a logo, background, we can edit the captions. If for some reason the transcript got something wrong, you can just click over here, click on correct, and make it good to go. So there are so many things that you can do. And I think that it shows a pretty good clip, honestly. Like, I'm passionate in this moment. I'm talking about something that is relevant to a lot of content creators. Overall, I think it's a good one. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to make these captions a little bit bigger and move them up a little bit. Do I want to change the style at all? Let's do this. This is fun. And then I'm going to export this one. And we'll check out some of the other ones that they pulled for us. But how easy does that make your social promotion, right? I love how simple it is. And it's just easy peasy and takes so much work out of the process of pulling clips for social. And My advice to people when they ask how I've gotten to full-time YouTuber status is like I've created a YouTube video at least once per week for 10 years, which scares a lot of people. I know a lot of you are like, I'm out. I can't do that. That's too much. That's too long. I've only skipped maybe a handful of weeks in that 10 years. And yeah, that's hard, it's long, but it is a superpower being able to be consistent. Be sure to give Riverside a try. You can use my link down below and my code Latasha James, that's LATASHA JAMES, to get 15% off their paid plans. Be sure to give them a shot. Thank you so much to Riverside for sponsoring, and I hope that this was a helpful video and that you learned something and you give it a try. I know you've got a story in you that you want to tell, and you absolutely should.